What is happening, Raider Nation? I'm your host, Cliff Thornton. Welcome to the Raider Fan Podcast. We are on episode 19. I hope you're as excited as I am. This has been a great experience, a great journey. Like, I don't know how long I was going to be doing this, but I'm having a lot of fun, and I'm able to deliver a lot of information, a lot of news, and like this podcast says, it's the Raider Fan Podcast, so it's coming from a Raider fan's point of view. One thing I want to talk about is make sure you subscribe. What we're going to be doing during the regular season, to anyone who subscribes, we're going to have weekly prizes. Whether you can win, you can have an opportunity to win Raider gear, podcast gear, and what everybody else loves, straight up cash. So, but you have to be a subscriber to take part in it. And then every week during the podcast, I will let everybody know what the task is in order to win that prize. And again, all this is free on your part, free subscription, so take advantage of it. Plus, like I said, I'll be doing podcasts twice a week talking about the Raiders and the game. So one thing I want to touch base on is an old Raider player, Darren Waller, who retired, and he did it so suddenly. A lot of people are asking a lot of questions. It's been all over social media. Why did he resign? Like, why did you retire? I know he did a rap album or a song. I don't know how good that is, but if he's planning on doing that, that's great. But he did on his YouTube channel tell us a little bit of what happened in past November. So let's take a listen and get some insight of why he may be retired, why he retired.
Like I said, couldn't breathe, so I ended up calling 911, and I think I'm talking clearly on the phone, but they can't make me out or make out much of what I'm saying. So I realized I kind of had to go with the nodding and breathe deep. And then they finally got my address, and I'm like, damn, I'm just dying on this couch and nobody knows. It was a very humbly, very scary event, and I remember what felt like, which was it was kind of similar to my overdose, just the power plug just being pulled out, and I just couldn't breathe anymore. But then it was immediately somebody was there. There was a paramedic and a police officer. That paramedic put an oxygen mask on my face, and a police officer was there. I don't know if I really feel if I would have died, that I would have felt great about how my life was going if I died at the time. I'm doing something that I found a lot of joy in and have had amazing moments with. But the passion has slowly been fading.
That take at the end was huge. I mean, he's played football. He knows the game. A lot of people who know football understand what is at stake, what you have to put into the game. It wears on your body, wears on you physically, mentally. To say you've lost the passion, that's a huge admission. And we see it as fans all the time, that a player just stays too long. It's tough to see when it happens, because their body, just doesn't want to match the passion. But when you lose the passion, it's a different avenue to take. It's not easy to walk away from anything. It doesn't matter what sport, but football, and especially because there's that locker room. It's them OTAs, that's mini camp. It's what you put into the week in order to play once a week and to get to the championship. But now we have an idea of why he retired. And, kudos to him for recognizing and realizing that he lost the passion, because you're going to do a disjustice to yourself, to your teams, but more importantly, you're going to do a disjustice to the fans, because we would see that. We look at these players, and a lot of fans idolize them. They look up to the players, and we can kind of gauge, wow, this guy's really, he's balling out. When you lose the passion, you tend to get hurt, number one, because you're just not fully committed, and your play is just not the same. So, he made his decision, and we all have to respect that. But that's a tough admission on his part, and kudos that he was able to do it. Let's take a look at Darren Waller's career. I mean, he came in the league in 2015 with the Ravens, and he played for the Ravens, he played for the Raiders, and he played for the Giants. But he had a pretty good season, mainly with the Raiders. But if you take a look, for the first 2 years, he was with the Baltimore Ravens. He had 12 receptions, 103 yards, and 2 touchdowns. I don't know what the Raiders saw in him just with them 2 years. I don't know, 2 years, that them stats are really not, they don't really stick out. I mean, his last year with the Ravens, he had 10 receptions, 85 yards, and 2 touchdowns. So I don't know why someone goes after a player with just that stat, but they saw something, because when the 5 years with the Raiders, he had 286 receptions, 3,469 yards, and he had 17 touchdowns. I mean, his breakout season was, I mean, he came with the Raiders in 2018. He only had 6 receptions, 75 yards. So I don't know what they were anticipating, but it was the year after that he did very well. 2019, he had 90 receptions, 1,145 yards, and he had 3 touchdowns. And then 2020, he beat that. So he had 107 receptions, 1,196 yards, and he had 9 touchdowns. So the Raiders saw something in him, but then he started declining in 2021. He only had 55 receptions, 665 yards, 2 touchdowns. And then 2022, his last year with the Raiders, he had 28 receptions, 388 yards, and 3 touchdowns. I know some injuries, got in the way, but it seemed like he hit his plateau 2019 and 2020. And then his final year was 2023. Last year with the Giants, had 52 receptions, 552 yards, and a touchdown. So it seemed like could he have gotten better? Did he retire too soon? But according to him, he had an issue, and he lost the passion. So, but I kind of, you look at it and say, well, you had an issue back in November. I mean, I don't want to speculate what it was. I can tell you what it sounded like. Again, coming from a fan's point of view, it sounded like he had a medical emergency, and then he retires. So I don't know what's next for Darren Waller. The reason why we're reporting it, because I was a big fan, when he was with the Raiders. I wasn't happy that they traded him, but, to see what type of year he had, and then he just retiring. So I don't know if he would have continued to get better, or since he was on that decline, maybe he just declined. So, but somebody saw something. That's why they get paid the big bucks. But tell me what you think. Was it a smart trade for the Raiders now that he retired a year and a half later? Tell me what you thought about Darren Waller while he was playing for the Raiders. Did you like him? Did you not like him? Why did you like him? Why you didn't like him? Let's open it up for some discussions, and let's talk about it. Once again, this is the end of the episode. I just wanted to touch base really quick on the Darren Waller thing. And, like always, to all my listeners, thank you. Pretty soon I'm going to be having people come on, and we'll engage. We'll have a conversation about your thoughts about the Raiders and the upcoming season. I'd like to try to start doing that in the end of July, so we can walk into preseason with that, and we can have a discussion on some of these new players and what the Raiders are going to do. So, but like always, thank you very much for listening, for liking, for sharing, for commenting. Again, don't forget to subscribe. And, until I see you later, until I see you next time, let's go Raiders.